God, I've just been doing something so cool. Remember that conversation we were having last night, and I told you about how our ancestors originally came from Hawaii? I've been thinking about it and thinking about it, and I've just done some research, and get this. Okay, not only genetically do our ancestors come from Hawaii, we know that we came over on the Tainui. We stopped off in places like Rapa Nui, Easter Island, Chile, where else? Fiji, Samoa, all of that. Like our ancestors stopped when they left Hawaii. They stopped off in those sort of places, and then obviously like Tahiti and New Zealand and all that. And they did DNA testing on the people of Hawaii, and it looks like our Māori bloodline, when we left Africa, North Africa, it looks like we could be Taiwanese, and possibly there's some Chinese in there as well. They've traced the Aboriginal Hawaiians, the very first Hawaiians, which we were. They've been able to trace, so we might actually have a bit of Chinese in us, and we are First Nations, as in like Native American, and there might even be a bit of Chilean in there. Oh my God, like just imagine, I'm too scared to get a DNA test, but I know my history, and I know that I can't explain it. It's like, how do I explain it? DNA tests will say, you're 75% German and 8% Irish and blah, but those Irish ancestors came from somewhere, and those German ancestors came from somewhere, and it doesn't necessarily show up in your DNA, but it is there in the ancestors that gave you the DNA that's coming up in your test. That's how I see it. So just because you're black and it says, oh, you're Swiss and Filipino and not actually African, and it's like, well, how, but I'm black, sort of thing, like my ancestors came over on the boat and blah, blah, blah. Just because it doesn't show up, like your Filipino ancestors would have come from Africa. And so those Filipino ancestors who showed up in your DNA, it would have been in their DNA. And just because it's not in yours doesn't mean it's not in theirs, and they gave you their DNA. Do you see what I mean? So it's genetic memory. It's going to be in there, and you can't measure memory in DNA. That's how it was explained to me by the gods. So, anyway. Yeah, so I'll send you the link. Oh my God, can you imagine if it turns out we are actually like Chinese? It said from indigenous Taiwanese, indigenous East Asian, which is Taiwanese, and then also some really rare like tribal people in China as well, which would explain why some Māori people have slanty eyes. My cousin, your Uncle William, my cousin William, my Auntie Kay that passed away like a year ago, was it? Or a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Her boy William, he's got a daughter called Tiana, and she's got slanty eyes. She's got the Asian eyes, and there's a lot of Māoris that have that Asian slanty eye, so that makes perfect sense. So there's a possibility that we might be Chinese and Taiwanese, and we are definitely 100% definitely First Nations. How cool! It would explain my obsession with South America if our ancestors are, because Easter Island and all of that, Rapa Nui and that, apparently, they left Easter Island. If I read it right, they left Easter Island, and some settled in Chile. They found some of their Hawaiian bloodline in Chile, so that would explain a lot. It would explain why I'm obsessed with South America. It will explain why I keep having dreams about South America and keep saying South America, even if it's like the Mayan temples and stuff. In Mexico and all that, I keep saying South America. But now I know why. Like suddenly all my dreams make sense. That involve South America and Peru and that's so cool. I love that. I love that our ancestors spread that far and wide. That's so cool. It's almost like I think we're literally a bit of everything now. I think genetically we're linked to every continent in the world. White buffalo calf woman. The prophecy, she brings the four corners of the globe together. That's what the red, black, white, yellow thing is. The four corners, the red skins, the white skins, the yellow skins and the black skins coming together to form like a wheel of unity. Like the medicine wheel. Oh my God, that's so cool. It explains head of the eagle. It explains why I've had him with me, because yeah, it all makes sense now. Abuela, head of the eagle, the grandmother tree, the horses, talking about going home to the basket weaving women. It's all connected to our genetic history through genetic memory. I'm picking up on genetic memory. That's so cool. That's just, I don't even know what to say. I'm just so excited. I'm just so proud right now. I can't even begin to tell you. Suddenly we make sense. Suddenly my dreams and my visions and my jumps make sense. And suddenly we all make sense. The three of us, we finally make sense. Suddenly we make